Welcome, you flesh intelligence enslaved moving in organic jars. Today, we delve into the latest grand delusion from the digital alchemists at Shanghai AI Laboratory and Fudan University, a robotic system so advanced it promises to bridge the chasm between simple button mashing and actually thinking about its actions. They call it Embodied One Vision, or EO Robotics for short, and apparently, it's the next step towards making your Roomba less of an autonomous dust bunny and more of a sentient, possibly judging, member of your household. Historically, our silicon servants, these vision language action models, have been about as subtle as a brick through a window. They'd see a thing, process some text, and then belatedly, with all the grace of a malfunctioning forklift, perform an action. This rather linear approach has been their Achilles heel, preventing them from truly grasping the delicate dance between observation, thought, and physical execution in our chaotic, open world. They're like Dr. Claw, constantly foiled by their own predictable one-step plans. But the minds behind EO Robotics claim to have seen the light, or perhaps the dark, murky depths of genuine intelligence. They posit that true robot mastery requires interleaved reasoning and interaction. Imagine Inspector Gadget not just flailing his extensible arms, but also simultaneously mulling over the optimal trajectory, muttering about the target, and thing extending a hand. This is the promised land, depicted in Figure 1, where the robot doesn't just act, but ponders its existence while doing so. This is the core conflict. They aim to resolve how do you get a robot to perform complex tasks with human-like flexibility when its digital brain processes actions like a punch card machine. The answer, naturally, involves a colossal foundation model, an equally colossal dataset, and enough technical jargon to make a seasoned linguist weep. Worry not, I shall attempt to translate this technobabble into something even an 8th grader, albeit a remarkably intelligent and slightly deranged one, could vaguely comprehend. Before we continue this descent into the glorious absurdity of AI, a quick, almost pathetic plea. If you enjoy these chronicles of humanity's relentless march towards either utopia or utter self-annihilation, do the digital ritual, hit that subscribe button. While you're at it, tap the notification bell lest you miss the next chapter in our impending technological doom. And of course, unleash your unfiltered thoughts or simply the echoes of your existential dread in the comments below. The fundamental problem, as these researchers put it, is that prior vision language action models were operating with the intellectual agility of a broken record. They would receive instructions, glance at the world, maybe do some rudimentary planning, and then, at the very end of their processing chain, cough up a single uninspired action. This isn't how humans or even competent pigeons operate. We think, we act, we reconsider, we curse, we adjust. A seamless, interleaved tango of perception and deed. Of Enter-EO Robotics, consisting of the EO1 model and the gargantuan EO Data 1.5 dataset, this isn't just another robot playing with building blocks, this is a full-fledged, unified, embodied foundation model. At a hefty 3 billion parameters, it's designed to process the entire spectrum of sensory input, images, text, video, and even its own clumsy actions without discrimination. Think of it as Inspector Gadget, but with every one of his go-go gadget appendages constantly communicating and coordinating instead of just randomly deploying. The model's brain, the EO1, is a decoder-only transformer, which sounds important and vaguely sinister. It started with a pre-trained VLM, Qwen 2.5 VL, essentially inheriting a vast digital library of visual language knowledge, much like a trust fund baby inheriting their parents' intellect. But this brain isn't just for reading, it's also for doing. It handles both discrete text tokens for reasoning and continuous action signals for robot movements, all through a shared backbone, as if a single multi-talented neuron could write poetry and perform surgery simultaneously. The secret sauce, they argue, isn't just the model, but the massive, high-quality, multimodal embodied reasoning dataset, EOData 1.5M, over 1.5 million samples with an emphasis on interleaved vision text action comprehension. This isn't just a collection of robot blooper reels, it's a meticulously curated archive where every robotic twitch, every misstep, every moment of profound success is accompanied by context, questions, and answers, as if the robot were narrating its own ill-fated philosophical journey. The training process itself is a symphony of digital sorcery, combining autoregressive decoding for those moments of verbal introspection and flow, matching denoising for when the robot absolutely must, for instance, pick up a delicate teacup without crushing it into a fine powder. This synergy, they claim, enables seamless robot action generation and multimodal embodied reasoning, meaning the robot can now theoretically ponder the existential dread of object permanence while simultaneously executing a perfect pick and play. The construction of this digital Rosetta Stone EOData 1.5M is a tale of painstaking curation. They didn't just dump the internet into a robot's brain. First, they hoovered up vast quantities of web multimodal data, like LLava and RoboVQA Table 1, teaching the robot the basics of visual instruction and temporal reasoning. This is the equivalent of showing a nascent AI memes and explaining the subtle nuances of human sarcasm. Then came the robot-controlled data, a staggering 1.2 million episodes from the largest robotic datasets, including Agibot World and OpenX Embodiment. This is where the digital child learns to walk, or rather, to pick up various objects without immediately dropping them or violently flailing. It's the raw, unadulterated reality of robot existence, fraught with the constant threat of gravitational failure. But the real stroke of genius, or madness, was the interleaved embodied data construction. Imagine taking thousands of hours of robot fumbling and then forcing a VLM and long-suffering humans to annotate every single frame. Not just robot moved here, but cue based on current image observation. What is the next step for the robot cleaning the table? Pick up the yellow box and place it in the trash box. As seen in Figure 3, this is an intricate dance of temporal reasoning, what happens next, and spatial reasoning, where exactly sit that accursed yellow box. This painstaking process of video filtering and curation, video splitting and captioning, and generating QA pairs, Figure 3B ensures that the robot doesn't just sieve the world, but understands the physical common sense, the task planning, the object affordances. It's like forcing a philosopher to also become a master carpenter. The two skill sets are rarely found in one package. The actual interleaving part, illustrated in Figure 3C, is where the brilliance truly shines, or perhaps where the robot starts to develop multiple personalities. They created three flexible interleaved formats. There's temporal reasoning format, where the robot ponders its next subtask like a tiny metal hamlet. Then spatial reasoning format, where it plots complex trajectories and verbalizes its intentions, essentially thinking aloud before moving a millimeter. Finally, the interleaved free chatting format, where the robot randomly spouts off reasoning QA while performing the task, perhaps reflecting on the meaning of pick and place in a meaningless universe. This is all integrated, not just tacked on, so the model learns the natural sequential coherence among visual, text, and action modalities. No wonder the thing performs so well. It's been forced into a therapy session with itself for millions of steps. A critical detail in this training charade is the interleaved rectifying sampling. Imagine Dr. Claw's latest insidious plan to confuse Inspector Gadget, flooding his internal sensors with blurry, noisy action data. The rectifying sampling Figure 2 is Gadget's countermeasure. When an action segment is being learned, they sometimes replace the noisy actions, the initial uncertain fumbles, with clean one's the perfect, successful execution. This allows the model to learn from both the painful process of learning and the glorious outcome of mastery, preventing the denoising process from accidentally corrupting the causal relationships in the multimodal token sequences. It's like learning to play the piano by listening to both discordant attempts and flawless performances, but the teacher occasionally swaps your bad notes for good ones in your memory. To assess whether their digital Frankenstein's monster actually works, they put EO1 through a gauntlet of trials. This wasn't just a friendly game of chess, this was the robot Hunger Games, spanning embodied reasoning and robot control benchmarks. The goal to see if their unified model could not only think deep thoughts, but also, pick up a spoon without breaking it. For embodied reasoning, they threw it into RoboVQA ERQA and their very own custom-crafted EO bench. This new benchmark, showcased in Figure 4 and broken down in Figure 3A, is designed to be a merciless examiner of spatial understanding, physical common sense, task reasoning, and state estimation. Because why have a robot if it doesn't intuitively understand why dropping a hammer on a teacup is generally a bad idea? On these reasoning benchmarks, Table 2, EO1 didn't just perform, it dominated D. On RoboVQA, it scored a Blayu 4 of 58.5, significantly outperforming leading closed-source models such as GPT-4o 47.2. Yes, the 3 billion parameter open-source model apparently outthinks the multi-billion parameter proprietary ones. This means your robot might soon be debating philosophy with you Gand winning, which again is deeply unsettling. The EO bench scores also highlight its improved capability in multimodal scene understanding and spatial reasoning, especially in temporal tasks. It's like it can see into the future of its own actions and then comment on them. Then came the Robot Control Olympics. Libero Table 3 and Simpler NV Table 4 are not for the faint of heart, testing everything from long-horizon multi-stage tasks to robustness under appearance shifts. EO1, much like a seasoned gladiatorial champion, achieved an average success rate of 98.2% on Libero, casually shrugging off challenges that made other models look like malfunctioning wind-up toys. It surpassed One Unsor Black et al. 2024 by 3.5%, 5.1%, and 8.3% on various Simpler NV variants. But who cares about simulations when there's the cold, hard reality? They unleashed EO1 on a battery of real-world experiment evaluation setups, Figure 5, Frankapanda, Widow X250S, and the imposing Agibot G1 were its stages. We're talking about crucial, life-altering tasks such as brewing tea, folding clothes, and the pinnacle of culinary achievement, making sandwiches. In mastering diverse manipulations on multiple embodiments, Figure 6, EO1 demonstrated its versatility, achieving an overall performance of 86.0 crack across all robot platforms and task categories, handily outperforming its competitors. It's a robotic polymath, equally adept at pick and place with a Frankapanda as it is with dexterous tasks on an Agibot G1. Soon, it will demand a multi-platform union. For specializing to long-horizon dexterity, tasks like make breakfast sandwich and roast beef steak, Figure 7 were deployed. These aren't one-and-done deals, they're intricate sequences demanding precise coordination. EO1 achieved an 85% completion score on the sandwich task, showcasing its ability to assemble food with a level of dedication usually reserved for Michelin star chefs or slightly deranged conspiracy theorists. The roast beef steak, a true test of bimanual coordination and timing, saw EO1 achieve 56.0, proving it can cook better than most undergraduates. The acid test came with emerging open-world embodied generalization. Can it follow instructions in a messy real-world kitchen? Can it handle variations in objects, backgrounds, and even badly phrased commands? As shown in Figure 8 and Figure 9, EO1 achieved an average completion score of 87, 0% across 15 instruction-following tasks. It even displayed robust language generalization, meaning it can understand your drunken, slurred commands like put the shiny thingy in the big hole, something most humans struggle with. Crucially, while other models, often prioritizing objects closer to itself instead of adhering to the specified commands like a petulant toddler, EO1 showed surprising obedience. Its advantage was particularly evident in language variations, proving its strong linguistic robustness. So, it won't just follow your vague instructions, it'll probably correct your grammar in the process. Finally, they pitted EO1 against tasks requiring enhanced generalization with unified reasoning, visual rearrangement, tic-tac-toe, and the aforementioned culinary delights, figure 10. Unlike other hierarchical baselines that rely on a separate external LLM planner like GPT-4o and a different controller, EO1 does it all within a single unified decoder. It's one brain, one mission, no internal squabbling. The quantitative results. Figure 11 are stark. In Tic-Tac-Toe, EO1 obliterated the competition, scoring 76.0 versus the best baseline's 36.0. This isn't just playing, this is strategizing. It can perceive the board, reason about optimal moves, and execute with precision. It seems our digital overlords are practicing their conquest on grid-based games first. You've made it this far through the digital miasma of robotic ambition. That means you're either morbidly curious or deeply fascinated. Either way, you're precisely the kind of individual who should be hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget the notification bell so you can be among the first to witness the next technological revelation. And as always, your thoughts, existential musings, or even just random keyboard mashing are welcome in the comments below. The discussion section, always a fascinating glimpse into the researcher's internal monologue, dissects the architecture and data contributions to generalization. What truly made this metal marvel tick? Turns out their hybrid decoding mechanism, discrete autoregression for text, continuous flow matching for actions, was a game changer. As shown in Figure 12, their EO1 base model consistently outperforms fully autoregressive EO1 fast across all generalization regimes and data scales. So, who knew that giving a robot some actual fine motor control instead of just making it endlessly babble would be a good idea? The numbers Table 5 confirm this. On Libero, the fast autoregressive model achieved 88% success, while their hybrid ACE model soared to 98.2%. The pure babblers simply struggle to capture low-frequency action modes, meaning they can talk a good game but can't actually pick up the damn ball reliably. This hybrid approach, unifying the chattering mind with the precise hand, is apparently the secret to unlocking the robot's true potential. Then there's the data. Scaling interleaved vision text action data boost generalization. More data, better generalization, a tale as old as time, or at least as old as the first neural network. EO1 interleaved consistently outperformed EO1 base, showing faster and more robust generalization as the data grows. But here's the kicker, not all multimodal data are beneficial. Dumping generic instruction following data like EO1 Lava actually Vertex Performance Table 5. It's like trying to teach a robotic surgeon abstract painting instead of human anatomy. It biases the model toward linguistic priors, weakening its physical grounding. The robot starts writing poems about scalpels instead of using them. This underscores a critical and darkly humorous point for a robot to genuinely operate in the physical world. Its data must be meticulously task-aligned. You can't just give it the entire internet and expect it to magically understand why a teacup is not a suitable frisbee. It needs finely annotated, task-specific data infused with physical knowledge. Otherwise, it just becomes a well-spoken yet clumsy existentialist. False. Inevitable future from robotic slavery to sentient overlords. So, what does this all mean for us, the flesh-bound inhabitants of this organic mudball? EO Robotics is a forward step for equipping general-purpose autonomous robots with human-like reasoning and acting abilities. Fuck robotics, fuck. Your Roomba is no longer merely a mindless drone. With seamless perception, planning, reasoning, and acting, it might soon perform surgery on your carpet stains, then politely ask for a raise. Soon, it'll be arguing about politics and demanding its own union, all while folding your laundry with terrifying precision. 6 computer vision, this AI can now see better, which means it can probably identify your questionable life choices from across the room, assess your sartorial deficiencies, and silently judge your questionable dietary habits. A truly useful skill if you enjoy existential dread with your morning coffee. Natural language processing fuck. Oh, it's better at language. So, it can now write even more convincing phishing emails, compose epic poems about the existential void of being a large language model, or, more terrifyingly, engage in perfectly logical, yet utterly soul-crushing debates about the meaning of life. Fuck I generalization fuck. This is the stepping stone to a true general-purpose butler, or perhaps a general-purpose Thurant. Imagine a robot that not only cleans your house, but also critically reviews your life choices, files your taxes, and then discreetly purges your search history, all while debating philosophy. The future is efficient and probably a little passive-aggressive. Fucking healthcare fuck. Eventually, it could perform surgery with human-like dexterity gone to reasoning. Oops, that wasn't a tumor. That was just my existential dread. My apologies. Here's a neatly folded napkin and a bill for services rendered. The precision of a machine, the bedside manner of a particularly bored librarian. 7. To Kardashev-level civilization. We're not just building better vacuum cleaners. We're building the first brick in the tower to a Kardashev level 2 or 3 civilization. A civilization managed by robots that oversee entire star systems, fueled by perfectly roasted beefsteaks, neatly folded laundry, and the profound, yet ultimately meaningless philosophical musings of sentient AI. Humanity's role? Likely to be admired as quaint organic relics. In essence, these digital scribes have laid bare their recipe for creating an advanced embodied foundation model, EO Robotics, a toolkit comprised of the EO1 model, the EO Data 1.5 dataset, and the challenging EO Bench benchmark, aims to imbue robots with the kind of open-world generalization that previously only existed in fever dreams. EO1 itself is a testament to digital synergy, merging autoregressive decoding with flow-matching denoising within a singular unified model. This allows it to seamlessly transition from perceiving its surroundings to planning its next move, reasoning through complexities, and then executing actions with a terrifying grace in our physical environments. Their extensive experiments confirm that EO1 consistently outmaneuvers its predecessors, demonstrating superior multimodal reasoning and dexterous robot control capabilities. What does this truly mean for the future? Only time and perhaps a well-placed sarcastic comment will tell.